I basically have been playing the keys from the age of 3. That's when I kind of picked up. There was like this family synthesizer that used to be at home, and whenever my parents used to go out, I used to like start playing something on that and replicate it. And then, of course, there's this one moment where I was so engrossed in that, and I didn't realize that they are looking at me from their door. And for me, I thought it was like I had committed a crime that was there. So I mean, they saw me like really interested in that instrument, so they put me into Indian classical. So I did that for a good 4-5 years. My mom was she was very proactive, and she made sure that I really made sure, I'm really focused and met the right people. So I met this very well-known composer called Raju Singh, and he heard the way I played, and he said, he played really well, but his left hand needs to be developed. So after that, I started doing Western classical, where I learned, learned under this really sweet woman called Mrs. Acharya, who was like this piano teacher who used to sit in Lokhandwala, and she had this really nice old but beautiful sounding piano, and she used to love my affection for Hindi cinema, so I used to keep playing these older songs. So she would teach me like Trinity School of London, and she's like, okay, now you play one of your old songs and I'll show you what chords, and chords means what's the backgrounds you guys can put. And yeah, that's how it pretty much went. So that was the training bit of it. I really didn't want to take this as a field till I did a short film with a very close friend's brother. He was, in fact, Whistling Woods had just started then, and he had made a short film, and I did a piece for that, and it was loved by everyone over there, and they all started approaching me, and I saw that as an opportunity to join the institute because I really had a lot of fun, like collaborating with a violin player and these musicians and all that. And then I kind of requested the music professor, you might be knowing him, D. Woods. He was very kind enough to mentor me, and of course, my dad was a businessman, and he's like, "What are you going to do with music? You're going to come on the streets and all. What are you going to do? You can't. This is not something I can help you in." So I told him, "See, you give me some time. Let me sort this out." So then I started doing a internship. D. Woods was kind enough to give me an internship, and in return, what I did was I kind of did all the scores for all these films from the first batch of Whistling Woods complimentary. So I ended up doing close to 4 to 5 films that same year. Post that, I decided to venture out into other spaces, because the thing with short films is they don't really pay you. I mean, ghar nahi chala sakte ho. Like, they are more of passion projects, you can say. So I needed to figure out something more in terms of something that can at least take care of the bills, if not anything else. So through a contact, I was able to get into Cartoon Network, which is Turner International, and they really loved my work. So then we did a lot of projects. I did that. Then there was a director. Back then he was an actor from Whistling Woods. His name is Shashank Khaitan. He introduced me to Red Chillies Entertainment. He was working with them, and I did this really nice 2 romantic films with. There was this Cornetto love reels that had come, so I did that. And slowly the word kept spreading, and here we are. Time just passes so fast, and you're like, oh my god, like I'm already like old now. OST, for people who don't know, it stands for original soundtrack, which are themes from background scores that have been chopped off, and like you'll hear different versions of them, right? The score is one entire linear thing, just like a movie that is going on. So, of course, the background score is pretty much the unsung hero of a film, because if done correctly, you can completely elevate visuals, and it's the only thing that takes you, it can probably guide you towards an emotion of the scene. A very bad background score can make something very emotional sound like quite bad, so you need to focus on the right elements, the right notes. I had worked with this director, his name is Shashanka Ghosh. He's quite a well-known director in the ad space, and he's made Viredi. And he told me one thing very nicely. He told me background score is something that should be felt. It shouldn't be heard. The moment you start hearing a background score, there is a bit of a problem. It's trying to attract its attention towards something that you don't really want it to. Whenever I work or associate with any director, the first thing I decide with him, or I sit with him and ask him, I'm like, where is it that you don't want the background score? Because it's very easy to get completely excited about a project that you're doing, and have music everywhere, because it will work. It's not like it will not work, but it will get irritating to a viewer. It will get tiring to a viewer, because when you hear, like, say, music for a continuous 5 minutes, 6 minutes, it's something that mentally it exhausts you. So a scene that is 5 minutes will seem like a 8-minute scene just because there's music continuously playing. So as far as where not to put background score, what I personally do, I mean, I don't know what techniques other people use, is we use smaller instruments. We use instruments that are thinner, like in the family of music that's known as pads. So they are drones or pads, which we just use, which just enhance the mood of the scene, but at the same time are not attracting too much of attention. So, as far as that is concerned, it's a mixture of both. It is, you can say, it is almost like 70% post that is done once the film is done. Usually, 30% of the projects I've done is pre. So, there are a lot of character themes, as you correctly said, are made as per the character. Like, for example, there's this show that, like, after of course, Special Ops, I'm doing this another show with Hotstar that's going on. I'm not allowed to reveal what details about it is, but there are quite some interesting characters in that, and we are developing themes for it. And those themes were going to be composed before the shoot. They've already been composed, and that was going to be put on those characters and probably been put on the edit once those themes were ready. But then there are a lot of projects like Special Ops, even Nal. Most of the work I've done, it's mostly post. I think it makes more sense to do music pre-production when you're goddamn sure about what you want to do, because like a lot of time I've done a lot of pre-production music, but the directors don't do anything about it. It just like lies there as ha ki mere film ka theme hai, but it never kind of ever makes it to the film. Of course, there's another rendition of that makes it to the film, but that theme sometimes doesn't at all make it to the film. So I think pre-production really helps you when you're going about making songs. Choosing the instrument is a very latter process. It's like, think of it like casting your actors. But for the first thing that's important is having a story and having a script, right? So what we do musically is first we create a lot of themes on, say, everything is done on the computer. It's firstly the entire soundscape, everything is done. And it all depends from film to film. Like, for example, if you guys have watched this Marathi film called Nard, the film was grand. It had big shots, it had larger shots, so it requires a bigger string session. It requires something that is larger than life to make you completely believe and go about the visuals. But at the same time, when it went to the kid, it became like a smaller tune. It became like a singular instrument. So then we used the violin for him, and so on. Like, I first just watched the project. I feel like I will play something on the piano. I'll create a main melody. Once the melody is okay, then I will try arrangements. I'll ask them whether you want more of an organic arrangements. By organic, I mean real instruments. Like, would you like Indian classical instruments? Like, you would like a sarangi, you would like a sitar, or would you like to go more electronica, where you would like to have a nice humpy bass, the good kick, and all that. And once I get an idea of what they want, then I just start pretty much doodling randomly on music, and if they like it, we keep improvising on something better. So the director is always right. That is a motto you will have to work with. There are going to be a lot of times where you make something very beautiful and the director just doesn't like it. Don't take it personally. Do understand that he has lived with this film for years. He's lived with the script for years, and he has a certain vision of achieving something. So my suggestion to that is keep that in your banks, what has been rejected. And to you might feel that, he's wrong. But there are times where you have to give in and do what the director wants. He's the captain of the ship and you have to listen to him. There's no other way of going about it.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video, and if you like what we do, follow us on our socials and check out our other uploads.